The boarding gate buzzed with daytime restlessness as Marcus Hale clutched his worn backpack and slid into the last empty seat on the plane. Sunlight streamed through the tall airport windows, painting everything in soft gold, as if the day itself was offering hope. Yet inside Marcus's chest lived a familiar heaviness, the quiet fear of a man who had learned to survive by pretending he was stronger than he felt. He had nearly missed this flight, nearly missed an opportunity he couldn't fully explain but desperately needed. As the cabin doors shut with a firm final sound, destiny settled beside him without asking permission. Marcus was a single father shaped by sacrifice, long night shifts, early mornings, and constant calculations about what he could go without so his young son Jonah never would. Those years had carved patience into his bones and exhaustion into his face. His wife's sudden passing years earlier had left him holding a toddler and a future filled with unanswered questions. Every step since had been about endurance, about keeping Jonah smiling even when life felt unbearably heavy. The plane smelled of coffee and recycled air as Marcus whispered a silent prayer that the interview waiting at the other end of the journey might finally change their lives. A few rows ahead sat Rowan Blackwood, a man whose name filled business magazines and market headlines, a billionaire whose presence carried quiet authority. His tailored suit caught the daylight as if it belonged there, yet something about this flight unsettled him. Perhaps it was traveling without an entourage, or the way the sunlight reflected off the wing and pulled memories from a past he rarely allowed himself to visit. As the plane began to taxi, Rowan's gaze drifted back through the cabin. Marcus adjusted Jonah's jacket, careful not to wake him, watching clouds scatter outside the window like promises. He remembered another airport long ago, when he had been broke, exhausted, and invisible, when a stranger's kindness had changed his direction for a moment he never truly understood. As the plane lifted into the bright afternoon sky, Marcus breathed slowly, unaware that the past was quietly waking behind him. Rowan's eyes stopped when they landed on Marcus. At first, it wasn't recognition, but a sudden tightening in his chest, a feeling no amount of wealth had ever prepared him for. The man sitting with a sleeping child looked painfully familiar, like a memory pulled from a locked room in his mind. Years earlier, before success and headlines, Rowan had been stranded in a foreign city, his cards declined, his confidence shattered. In that moment of despair, a stranger had offered help without knowing his name or asking for anything in return. That simple act, coffee, encouragement, belief, had kept Rowan from giving up. He had searched for that man for years without success. Now, in the clear daylight of this flight, that face sat only a few rows away. As the plane steadied, Rowan felt his carefully controlled world begin to crack. Seeing Marcus now, tired but dignified, felt like fate asking a question it would not allow him to ignore. Marcus sensed eyes on him but brushed it off, his thoughts fixed on Jonah's future, on the hope of no longer choosing between rent and groceries. He imagined mornings filled with laughter instead of worry. Slowly, Rowan stood and walked down the aisle, sunlight following him. When Marcus looked up, their eyes met, and something unspoken passed between them, recognition deeper than words. Rowan saw the same kindness that had once saved him. Marcus saw a man wrestling with memory. The rest of the flight passed in a fragile calm, the kind that comes before change. Rowan returned to his seat, already planning how to repay a debt life had delayed. Marcus returned to watching the clouds, unaware that his story was quietly turning toward hope. As the plane landed, Marcus woke Jonah gently and stepped into the busy terminal, feeling a warmth he couldn't explain. Behind him, Rowan followed, carrying not just a briefcase, but a chance to make kindness come full circle. If stories of hope, sacrifice, and second chances touch your heart, remember to like, comment, and share, and subscribe to Single Dad Diaries, so we can continue bringing you stories that remind us humanity still matters. Now please subscribe our channel so you will get our latest videos.